Hi besties, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we're doing a romance reading vlog. I'm in a very big romance mood since reading Part of Your World. If you haven't checked out that reading vlog, go check that out because that book was amazing and it got me on like a romance kick. So I think today what I wanted to do is read a bunch of romances with different types of genre, if that makes sense. Subgenre. Is it subgenre? Subgenre. So like sports romance or office romance, thriller romance, a fantasy romance, horror romance, dark romance, all of these different types of romances. So I did pull some different types of romances out for a variety of romances to kind of choose from. So these are kind of on my radar, but I think throughout this vlog I'm just going to be picking different types. So stick around. I think first up for this reading vlog, am kind of in a fantasy-esque mood. First book I'm going to read for this reading vlog is going to be A Fragile Enchantment, which is actually a newer release. I just got this for my birthday. It's going to be a YA fantasy romance, and I'm super excited about it. So let's get into it. Okay, I started reading A Fragile Enchantment and I'm 64 pages in, so I have some thoughts. I also realized earlier I did not give you guys any details on what this book is about other than that it's a YA fantasy book. Just to give you a synopsis of what's on the back of the book, you have your female main character who is a seamstress. She gets the opportunity to go work in the royal family. During this season, the prince and his turn to get married. So you have the female main character who's then traveling to the castle. She becomes the seamstress for the prince. The prince is not a nice person. He is very abrasive and prickly and does not like anyone. And she has to make his wedding coats and suits and everything for all of the galas and the balls and everything that's going on during the season. And then, as you probably can guess, they become closer and they become friends. And just like Bridgerton, if you guys have ever watched or read Bridgerton, I've never read it, I've only watched it. I've been seeing a lot of similar comparisons to the book and that show, but there is a gossip column who starts writing about their friendship and that sort of thing. This is all on the back of the book, so this is no spoiler, none of that. 60 pages in, I'm really enjoying the dynamic of the two so far. Definitely enemies, but the female main character is very likable in my opinion so far, and the male main character has so much potential. His name is Kit, and I really like his broodiness, and I feel like you somewhat are starting to see that he has not sort of a mean personality fully, so I'm excited to see where that goes. But the plot is being set up very nicely. The world building and the setting building is done very well in my opinion. I'm just having a blast. It's a YA fantasy romance. It's really hard for me to hate them. Hi besties, I have a sad update. I think I'm going to DNF this book for now. I haven't decided if I'm gonna soft DNF it or I'm just gonna fully DNF it, but I think for now I'm going to DNF it. I hit 50%. My Kindle says I have 3 hours left, and I'm just very bored, I think is the right word. There's not a lot going on. Like, there's an underlying, like, okay, like, what's happening? But with, like, the relationship aspect, there was absolutely nothing going on with the main character. I don't know. I'm very bored. It's not that there's nothing going on, and I shouldn't say that, but I think it's just, like, there's nothing thrilling, exciting, something I'm looking for. Like, I don't care. Like, sadly. I was super excited and I really wanted to read this book. That's why I'm thinking of soft DNFing it for now, because maybe I'm just not in a fantasy mood. Or maybe because I am in such a romance mood, this just isn't giving enough romance for me at the moment. I'm not too entirely sure, but I'm going to DNF it for now. So, on to the next book. The lighting kind of sucks right now, but I wanted to show you guys the next books I'm picking up for this reading vlog. Is going to be The Fallout by Jenny Barra, I think it's pronounced. And you guys could probably guess, this is a sports romance. It's a baseball sports romance, and the female main character is also a vet at a zoo, so that's very interesting. But this is the next book, so this makes it YA fantasy romance, and now I'm doing an adult sports romance. Hi besties, I'm officially 70 pages into the Fallout. I don't have the copy right here, it's in the other room, but I wanted to give my initial updates. I'm loving it. I didn't tell you guys what it was about other than the sports romance aspect of it, but essentially you have your female main character and your male main character. The female main character just got out of a really toxic relationship, and every boy she kind of meets only wants her because of her last name, because her dad is the coach of this MLB team, blah 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 blah. And so on a night out with her friends, she meets the male main character who is the star pitcher for said team of her dad's, and they hit it off and have a one night stand, and then she realizes who she is. And that's like the sort of beginning of the story. I think all of that's also on the back, so like no spoilers there, but it's that sort of story, and I'm like loving it so far. The female main character is a vet, which is a cool aspect to a book, which I mentioned I think earlier, but there is like a little puffin on like the cover and in the pages. It's significant in a way, which is really fun, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Hi besties, I am 170 pages into this book. I haven't given you guys any thoughts since the initial thought, so I thought I could talk about it a little bit because I think I'm about 60% into the book, so I'm hoping to finish today. But I have to say, I don't necessarily think I would consider this a sports romance. Yes, he plays baseball, and yes, she's the coach's daughter, but a lot of the timeline is set on the off season, and we spend a majority of this book at the zoo where she works, which is very important part of the story of what like happens in the book. But majority of it is in this zoo doing like different things that relate to the story. I don't want to give too much away. I have to say that's just a small little complaint I have. I feel like when it comes to sports romances, I really enjoy the sports aspect. As a sports player my whole life, I like the game atmosphere. I like the player conflict, all of that sort of thing. So we're not getting a lot of it. I mean, there's still 40% of the book left, so maybe we'll get more. But that's like the one little complaint. But I have to say, if you guys like acts of service, he is a big acts of service guy. This man has brought her favorite coffee multiple times in this book. Multiple. But he does like little things, like he'll bring her food or he'll remember small little things. But I'm really enjoying their relationship. It's been all friends. Like, it's slow burn. If you like a slow burn, you'll like this book. Like, it's slow, but it's fine. I like it. I'm enjoying it. Hopefully I'll check back in when I finish with all of my thoughts. Hi besties. I have a little update. I finished the Fallout. I think I'm going to rate this 4.5 stars. This could have been a 5-star read for me, but I think what lacked was the romance, the spice and romance aspect of it. You don't get a lot of it, which is fine. Like, I don't necessarily read the spice, and I don't like a lot of spice, but this book in general, you have your one night stand, and then for 70+% of the book, they are friends. So if you like a slow burn, this book you'll love. And I love a slow burn, and I loved this book. I wish we got more of them in a relationship, if that makes sense. You get not a lot. You don't get too much of them like in the actual relationship, but I liked that there was no like third act breakup. I liked the conflict that there was. It was really realistic, and it felt like an adult conflict, if that makes sense. So I was very happy with it, but I'm rating it 4.5 stars, and I am so happy that I found this book randomly on like friends' wish list, like super random. I had no idea anything about this book until I found it on her wish list. So glad I read it. For the next book on my radar, I have two. I think I might sit on it for a minute because I just finished that book and see which one I want to read next. But I have So Not Meant to Be, which is going to be a office romance, or King of Sloth, which is like the Kings of Sins. I think it's considered like a mafia romance, maybe a dark romance. Maybe it's a dark romance. I feel like there's darker themes, but yeah, one of these two. So when I figure that out and I start reading and everything, I will let you guys know. But until then, it's a mystery to me. Okay, I decided to start So Not Meant to Be, which is a office type of romance. So just to give you like the gist of the story, the main character and the male main character work together, and they have to fly out to San Francisco for a work thing, and they have to stay in the same penthouse. So they're literally going to be together for 24/7, working as roommates, etc. So it's that sort of thing. I'm 55 pages in. She absolutely hates him, and he is just like a big goofy teddy bear, wants her to love him type of thing, and she's just not having it. I love him. I'm not a big fan of her, but I'm hoping that just means there is room for character development and character growth and all of that good stuff. But I will keep you guys updated. I didn't realize how chunky this one is. It's 462 pages, so it might take me a minute. Hi besties, I feel like I should give an update. I'm 45% into So Not Meant to Be. I kind of binged a lot of it last night, and I wanted to come with some thoughts. And I went in Goodreads, which I shouldn't have done, and looked at some of the reviews to see if people were feeling the same type of way. But I feel like I am not a big fan of Kelsey. I don't necessarily like her assumptions and her miscommunication, which I know miscommunication goes both ways, but I don't know, I'm just not liking her character, but it's fine. I mean, I will say JP is carrying this book, in my opinion, but also there's, like, the first book is about her sister and his brother, Lottie, and Huxley is their name, and the PDA they have in this book, I feel like is so awkward and cringy. Like, I have a sister and I can't imagine talking to her and saying the stuff that like they share together. I mean, maybe they just obviously have a different relationship than me and my sister, but like, I don't know. Sometimes they say stuff and I'm like I can imagine hearing my sister say that. I can imagine saying that to my sister. It's weird, right? I don't know. That's just a personal opinion I have with the book. And a lot of other people have the same opinions. But yeah, I'm on page 207. So almost halfway, and I'll keep updating you along the way. I'm hoping it gets better. Like, maybe once they get over past like the miscommunication stuff and they actually like become a couple, it'll be better. But if the miscommunication is miscommunicating now and we're not even to the third act, I have to do a little check-in because the last two books that I just read, well, between this one and the Fallout, the men are acts of service, man. This man listened to a conversation she was having with her sister about this very like hole-in-the-wall restaurant, and then he brought her there when they got to San Francisco, and she's outside the restaurant crying because he remembered. The bar, man, the bar is set so high for these men. Hi besties, I finished So Not Meant to Be, and this update is gonna sound a lot like all the other updates I've had. But I'm gonna rate it a 3 stars. With that being said, I did not like the characters. I feel like the more this book went on, the more I was like, I don't really care, which is like fine. I finished it, so it wasn't like horrible. With this book, I would still recommend it. I just think it's not for me. I looked at the Goodreads reviews as well when I marked it as read, and a lot of people felt the same way as I did, so I'm not necessarily alone in how I feel. But yeah, I'm just gonna rate it 3 stars. I don't have a lot to say about it. It was not bad, but it wasn't my favorite. But yeah, I think that wraps up this reading vlog. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's specific types of reading vlogs you want me to do, or you want to see any of that sort of thing, let me know, comment down below. I have some fun ideas coming up for reading vlogs with types of books and stuff like that, so I'm super excited about those. Can't wait to film them, can't wait to read the books. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you've read any of these books, let me know in the comments your thoughts. I love hearing people's reviews and opinions. Like, when I finish a book, I'll scour Goodreads for like an hour. I'll scour TikTok for like an hour to see like what people are saying about these books, because I'm so nosy. But yes, thank you as always. Make sure you like, comment, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.